Hi guys. Hey guys, let me pull up the notifications and text, and then we start from there. Am I live? Am I audible? I mean guys, if you could hear me, just like leave a comment in the chat, or leave a message in the chat, and let me just know that you can hear me so that I proceed. I think one person is viewing, at least per what YouTube is showing me here. Two people are viewing at the same at the moment. Hey Jerry, please. I hope everything is fine with the audio, the video, and everything, so that we start work. Where's Hope? Hope is supposed to be here. Somebody should tag. Okay, well I'm supposed to go and tweet that I'm live, so let me just do that now, and then we move. Where is the message? Let me just quote that. I'm like, we are live. Quote, we are live. And post. Yes, set 3 is here. Lovely. Great. I'm just going to continue from where I started. For those of you who are new and don't know what we are doing, I'm basically trying to build a file transfer system using Python's socket module. And so far, I don't know when exactly we did this. I think it was Thursday or Wednesday, one of those days. That the last stream, we were able to write the initial code to actually transfer a file between two services, like from one end to the other. We're able to do that. Today I want to like add a GUI on top of that, and then we think about how we are going to do the encryption. Let me just like pull up the code and we move from there. So yeah, we were calling it the socket thing. Yeah, I forgot to leave the link to the repository in the description. I could actually do that right now, but anyway, the socket thing, let's pull up that so my other screen. Great. Yeah. And then let me open up a browser for github.com/revenue44/ the socket thing. So yeah, just walking us through what we were trying to do the other time. So I wrote this wiki on it. Last time, the idea is that we want to create a peer-to-peer sharing application which would allow two people to share files between themselves safely. That's the end goal. Safely. That's the end goal. Right now, it's not safe. Right? So the idea is that the sender of the file will open up the socket thing app. It will be a GUI. He selects the file that he wants to share. He would get a share code, and then he would give this share code to the recipient of the file. Then the recipient also opens up his socket thing, enters that share code. That's just like have a unique connection between the two of them, right? And then when you enter that share code into the socket thing, it's supposed to automatically connect the two of them, and then the file should just like start being shared or something of the sort. We should add a progress bar actually. So the wrong button. The progress that we made was that we were able to transfer this test file, and we received it into received file. I mean, I could delete this and then just like show you guys how it works quickly. And so we have like, wait, I hope you guys are with me by the way. Anyway, just looking at the terminal. If you were to run python app.py here, and then python app.py here. One is supposed to send, one is supposed to receive, right? So if you go to like send here, the sender will be waiting on a connection on his IP address and port. Now the idea is that since right now I'm using my local IP address, so it's going to seem as if it's working. But the idea is that we would encrypt this IP and port, and that is what we will give to the recipient as the share code, and the recipient will enter that, and then we use that to like make the connection between the two of them. Because if you look at what's happening over here, the recipient will wait on a connection. Whenever it gets a connection, it would send the file size first, then it would break the file into chunks and send them one after the other until the chunks are done, right? Then it will close the connection. Over here, the client would make a connection. I mean, you're supposed to like ask for the share code or the IP address and port, but then right now we are just hard coding it. We'll make a connection to that socket with that IP address and port, gets the file size as the first thing that you will receive. Then it will also open up its own file and then receive the chunks into that. Like that's the connection, right? Right now we are hard coding the file here. If you look inside app.py, we are hard coding this file, test file.txt here. So yeah, so if this was to say receive, for instance, you'd see that then the received file over here has been created, right? I mean, it's nothing extra, right? In any case, that's what we have done so far. This should actually not be a while loop. I just realized that last time we were using a while loop to do this over here, so you kind of does it like over and over again. But we just want the connection, the thing to be sent once, and because of that, I'll just like, yeah, tap this out once, and now, now when we try running that again, it should just run once and stop, right? Oops, I have no idea what just happened. Blah blah blah, error on line 12 of receive. Else here. Well, there is an app line 18 actually. Oh, it can't connect. Well, that makes sense. Then I guess it has to be in a while loop then. Great. That makes sense. Oh, I think I know why it wasn't working. Sorry. My bad. It doesn't have to be in a while loop. It's because I didn't put this one on send, so this connection was never created for someone to be able to like try and access it, right? So see that it's giving you a problem saying that connection refused error because there was no socket thing on that. I think we should actually just like put this in a try and accept block or something, so that we don't get that error. Try and then wrong place. Sorry. We want to try this instead and accept what? Connection refused error. Yep. I mean, for now we could just like print out and say that was connection refused on server IP and server port f string, and then we basically like return out of this. I mean, we have to close this socket as well. Yeah, we close this socket and return, just to make sure that we don't get this error again. It's not anything extra like that. Now we are good to go, right? Yeah. So now if you were to like run this and do a receive, yep, it should just like do it once and the file should be created. That's all. Solid. Anyway, what we want to do today is to add a GUI to the whole flow, right? And I want to use PyQ85 as a GUI. I know like there's Kinta and the rest, but I've used PyQ85 before, even though I've forgotten how to actually use it. Please, this should not actually be online. But anyway, yeah, I'll try and like go and read documentation and we'll figure it out. Like I said, it's not a tutorial. For now, I'm just going to add the changes that we have made and call that what? Handled connection refused error in receive .py get status. Right, and what I'm going to do is to just so I myself I don't forget and you guys would like to follow along, I'm just going to like copy this and add this link to the streaming as part of the maybe the description. Yeah, that will do. Can I do that? Let me just add it to the comments for now. I don't know what could happen after doing that, so let me just add it to the chat. Right. Yeah, we are safe. So yeah, we're good to go. Right, so from here, just going to come back to this. Well, first we have to do research on how PyQ26, I believe that's the latest version, and how to use it. I always keep pressing P instead of plus. But Python supports PSF. I'm sorry, I can't do that. 2FA will soon be required. Why would you be requiring a 2FA on PyP? Yeah. Well, starting 1st January 2024, all users must enable this on their PyP account. Really? I don't even have a PyP account. Then you are telling me that I need 2FA. Fine. If you need me to have an account before, I think when you are like uploading to it, you would need it. Makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, how to use it. So far we've not been using a virtual environment, but I'm going to now create one for this essentially. So we go to VS Code. I want to close one of this, and why am I doing get status instead of creating a virtual environment? Conda create -- prefix, just to make sure that I create it in this directory, and I'm going to call it what? env. Right, am I in the right directory? Yes, env. And I'm going to do what? Python equals 3.10 or 3.11. It doesn't really matter that much. Right, yes, and yeah, virtual environment has been created. Yep. Conda. You notice that operator, do you want to select it for this workspace? Of course, yes, select it for this workspace. I mean, what has changed? Nothing. Oh, all of a sudden, this. Alright. Yeah. Conda activate env. Conda please /env. That should work. Then it says what? So what's the issue? Why is it underlined? Doesn't matter whether it's overriding this. I mean, it's the same thing, really. Pip install pylint. Right. Pip install black formatting. Yeah, basically that's it. Anyways, and now, and then pip install Pykit 6. Wow, I didn't know it was that big. Now that that's settled, report shadow imports. How do you even do that? Blah blah blah. Blah. I mean, I'll just leave it in there like that. Personally, I don't like seeing squiggly lines on things. It really irritates me. But today, just going to go with like that. Yes, I think they do the same thing. I think they do the same thing actually. But then they have different ways of doing it. Oh, so yes, I should have installed just one of them. I think it's already done, Charlie. Or let me uninstall one. If I'm supposed to uninstall one, I'm going to uninstall the other one. Pip freeze. Pip uninstall pylint. Yes. Great. Pip freeze. Gone. Pip freeze and pipe into requirements.txt. Great. So yeah, now we can start thinking about the GUI. Documentation. Is this supposed to be the documentation? Like really? Blah, 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 blah. No. Oh, okay, I see. I don't think we're having a documentation anytime soon. But that's a documentation, but I saw something here from there. Wait, that's all. Can somebody tell me why we don't have a documentation? Great. Introduction. Huh? How do we start up a kick up? Blah blah blah. No, this is not what I want. Qt for Python. Documentation. Write your first Qt application. Start here. Quick start. Now you're good to go. Great. Great. For the squiggly lines, I have to switch my interpreter. Really? To what? Vim. Please tell me you're not coming to say Vim. If you say Vim, you and I are we are done. Sorry, I think I'm reading this without you guys seeing it. Great. So yeah, create a simple widget application. And you use Q main application and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, because the Q application widget equals that, widget is resize. Let me just Google Q main application, or Q main window rather instead. So there is a window and there is an application, for what I know. I just like use that. Right. How do you use it? Examples, please. Scrolling too much. This will never give an example, would they? Didn't think so. IQT6. Maybe this guy might be better. Caching and stuff. Really, create your first application. Let's go there. Creating a first application by 6. Q application. He's also using a widget for it. I want to use a window. Really. I think we're just going to try it and wait then. So instead of all of this, you said I need black 3.10. Well, I should go back to 3.10. Or I don't get what you mean, by the way. Anyway, instead of doing all of this gibberish, we are going to import from pyqt6.qtWidgets. Import q main window q application. Great. I should move back to Python 3.10 and that will solve it. I don't think this error is because of that. What do you think? Because it says it's like it's expecting VS Code is using Python from my local thing, and I think it's like it's looking at this socket coming from what is inside my virtual environment right now. But it's saying is that it is overriding the one in the standard library module socket, which is weird. Whatever I was using earlier I wasn't using any I think it was Python 3.10. Let me see. Settings. Let me just see. Control Shift P. Interpreter. Select interpreter. If I were to do interpreter and I select conda or mini conda, so if I were to use my base mini conda, it would be fine. But I want to use what is inside my virtual environment, and the virtual environment's own is like disrupting the other one. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, it's fine. We'll deal with it like that. So the ways that could happen. Back to app. So yes, according to this, I'm supposed to create an app like this. You could either pass this or this, and you're supposed to create a window as the main window, and you are supposed to show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if name equals main. Then we're supposed to do app to be equal to what? Q application. You pass in this. Make you pass in system.agv import sys and what? Window equals this. What should I call it? Main window equals this and what? Window.show. What do you do with the application there? All right. Let's start it. Great. You have to keep it in a while for now. Great. We'll deal with this one right now. Yeah, I mean, it's literally the same thing. I think we're just going to write everything in here so that class main window, Q main window, define init, that's too much. Print, blah, blah, blah. Takes parent, and it takes flags. We don't really need any of those things, huh? Upright. Here you put this over here. We can set the title later, but then we can do window equals an instance of this main window, and then we can do window.show. Yep. And what? app.exec. Great. Right then. We spent 30 minutes doing nothing essentially, creating this. Right. There is a way that you can interrupt it with a keyboard interrupt or whatever, but this is fine. Do we need anything else? Blah blah blah. No, we don't. I mean, we could give it, like, of course, some title and some content, right? So of course, we know that set title. Just a title. Set window title. There. I'll write it in small letters, the socket thing. Here. Window dot set geometry. That would give us, let's say 10, 10, 10, 10. Basically, the initial locations and the width and height. We just giving it like 10, 10, and then the width. Who wrote this? The width should be what? 720. I think that's too small. That's too big actually. Let's make it 600 and 600. Height could be like 800. Makes sense. Doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to remember what I wrote for my final year project. Please, I use this for my... What just happened? Oh, I did window dot. Seriously. Self. It is a window. Wait. Why is it coming to my other screen? I have no idea, but I think this is good. So if I run it again, it always goes to my other screen. Sorry. Great. Now let's get down to business. So we need two buttons, one for sending a file and one for receiving a file. When that button is, when that button is clicked, then we do something about it, right? How do you put a button there? I mean, you just use a Q push button and you add a handler to it, right? So I don't think we need this Q push button. Great. In fact, I'm going to import from by Qt6 import Qt. Now, let me just import the Q push button here. So we try to create our own button. We have a send button to be equal to Q push button with a text send on it, send a file. Right. How do you add a handler? Send button dot what? Dot something. Dot clicked dot connect. So when it is clicked, you connect it to something, right? For now, I'm just going to do self dot what handle send click. So here we dev handle self click here, it takes in self and it takes in what event. Yeah, that should work. I mean, we could print out events here. We've not added the button to the thing yet, right? I can do what self.what layout to be equal to, there is a Q vertical box layout for arranging things vertically, of course. So what Q vertical box layout. And we can do what self.what set layout as what self.what layout. And before that, we can add the things to the layout, like self.layout dot add widget. Add widget, yeah, that should work. Send button. Let's run this again. I'll try and explain what I'm doing, by the way, just very soon. Really. Handle send click, handle send, handle self click. The other screen. Yeah, so our button didn't show up. Interesting, right? Very interesting. I don't understand why the button didn't show up, but let's fix that first. Add this. So the layout of add widget, add this. This is not supposed to just be it. They are setting it as central widget. We don't want to do that. I think don't they have anything on layout? Nope. But you have to be going in order. Really? Like 6 layout. Great. Not a color, nothing like that. So the set central widget, and they are setting that as the color widget. Okay, fine. Yes, layout. How do you set? It doesn't make any sense. Set central widget is a widget, key widget. So they are adding a widget in it, and they're adding the layout to the widget instead. How does that even make sense? Why do you have to do it like that? They set that as the central widget. Does it always have to be like that? Widget. Widget. And widget again. And widget. I guess that's how you have to go then. So let's create what? Main widget to be equal to what? Q widget, which I need to import from here, Q widget, and then set the layout of the widget rather to be my layout, and then do what? Self.set central widget as main widget, something like this. I could remove this then. Let me just call it main layout just to reduce the confusion, right? And this should work apparently. Main window, blah blah blah. What line is that? Line 20. Main widget self the layout, main layout. Great, this works. Ta-da! Why is the event giving me false? Explain to me why the event is giving me false. If I told the type of event. Before you do it, before we talk about it, this whole video is going to be messed up because we're all trying to figure out the stuff, right? Oh, really? Anyway, we move. Yep. So now, what do we do when a person clicks on send a file? We have to ask the person to. First of all, I want to create one other. Function for clearing the layouts, just in case we want to like clear everything and then print out some new things in there. I'm just going to like brute force that. So define clear layout, not that format, clear layout, and we're supposed to take self, and what we are just supposed to do is to go get what self dot what central widget and dot what is it content dot child widget. Oh, that dot something. I mean, it's a widget, it has something. I don't think we can do anything with it. It returns a widget or not. If it returns a widget, what do you do with the widget? By qt clear widget, clear all widgets in the layout. You can do layout as count, but we are getting access to the widget instead. Clear all contents of a widget by qt6. But there is a clear method in. Control F clear. Oh, that's for a label. Fuck. How to leave a whole table. Okay, I think we're just going to go with this guy's method. So I guess without like have access to this from outside, self, right? Self, right? And self, right? And over here we can do what? Self dot what? Main layout dot what? Widgets dot remove widget dot count. I think you have to like use a for loop or something like that. Yeah, whilst there is something in there, you basically delete the widget. Okay. While self does main layout dot count, self dot main layout dot take at, you take the first one essentially, and you will delete. What does this return? Why can't I delete that? Oh, dot widget dot delete. it later. This should work. So the idea is that when a person clicks on it, we do a self.clear layout, and so the idea is that when a person clicks on this, we can clear the layout and everything will be gone. Or anytime we use that, the layout will be cleared essentially. But then now that we are able to do that, the next thing that we need to do is to now be able to like select a file, right? By Qt 6 file selector, because you have to tell me the file that you want to send, or right? I don't know if I should do it after the share code or before the share code, but regardless, both of them should be. You just want the path of the file. Don't need to use the actual dialog. Q file dialog box, Qt file, get open file name. Okay. Okay, so there is a Q file dialog, which I think we can also get from here. Q file dialog, and when a person clicks on this, before clearing it, for now let's not clear. Okay, we have to create a dialog, right? File dialog should be equal to what? Q file dialog, and can we give it anything? The parent should be what? Self, and caption, file, filter. We don't want any of those things, so we can do what? File dialog dot exec. That's it. Oh, so if it executes properly, then we can do what? File dialog dot what? Get open file name. Let's try that. File path should be equal to this. Print file path. And now when we go ahead and select a file, brings up file thing to our select. I'm just going to go ahead and select the test file that we have over here, and when we open, nothing happened. Okay, so we are able to get a full path to the file, right? Because I printed this and it seems to be a tuple. Oh, it returns a tuple or string, and the first one seems to be the actual file path. So we just take the first one out of that. Let's try that again. Did I not close the app? No, I did not. So just again, we click. Why does it come twice though? Oh, or is it because of this? I think I'm not supposed to do this. I'm just supposed to do this and this. This select already does that. So you select this and it brings it back to you. So this in itself initiates the this in itself initiates the widget. Doing the parent self, right? Sorted. I could just do here that get open file name self 0, and I'll do that what file path. Let me go like this. Hey, I hope you guys are with me, by the way. You might have to set a color, I guess. The color of what? The background and everything. Yes. I'm not the biggest fan of CSS, so it doesn't even come to mind. But you have to set a color. If you have any idea how to do that, I mean, we could go and Google it though. And also, it seems I'm just like doing the stuff on my own. I'm sorry about that. Let me take it step by step and try and go over what I've done, if everything is okay. So how PyKitty works is that there is an application and there is a window. So as the application is running, you create a window and you can show the window. That's what we did over here. As the application is running, you can create a window and then show the window. And when you when you show the window wouldn't show on its own. You have to like execute the whole application for the window to show. And this on its own handles a lot of things like closing the application and stuff like that. It will be handled automatically based on the operating system that you're on. That's one thing that's good about PyKitty. It's cross-platform, right? And everything it uses the actual concept of object-oriented programming. It was an old suggestion. It's fine. We'll do it. It is a concept of what? Object-oriented programming, right? So everything is an object. Even the widget is an object. Even the main window itself is an object. They call them widgets. So everything is from Qt widget. And now we have our main window widget or object here that we are instantiating. But this is a class, and the class basically is like a blueprint, right? So we set some initial stuff like the window title. Then we create a button, add a handler to the button. So this is a signal, the clicked signal. So whenever you create a button, it has what? A clicked signal, which you can connect to a callback function, so that anytime that button is clicked, that callback function would be called. So anytime I click that button, this function is called. When this function is called, I bring up the file dialog, get the file that the user has selected, and now we have the file path. And since we have the file path, we could just go ahead and do the same kind of concepts that we did over here. But instead of doing that, what we're going to do is to, instead of doing all of this, okay, I mean, we still have to do all of this, right? We have to like create a socket and all of that. But we need the encoded version of the person's socket IP and server, so that we give that to the other person, the recipient. But for now, what I'm going to do is to pause here. After getting this, we can like stop here. Now we need another button for receiving a file, right? So just as we have the send button, we would have the receive button. So receive. Right now I'm basically just like putting everything into one file so that we don't suffer. Receive a file. I'll add the color cyan, and then we can have what? Receive button dot clicked dot connect self dot handle receive click, right? And then of course we are supposed to add that to our main widget. Self dot main layout dot what? Add. Wait, add. I can't type W. Why? Add widget receive button. And also we are supposed to have what? A function here for handling what receive. Define handle receive click self event. When you are receiving, you need a dialog box, and for that I'll have to clear layout. When I clear the layout, what I'm going to do after clearing the layout is to ask the user now to enter either the IP, the server IP, and the encoding like the two of those things, right? For now, I'm just going to use a Q input box, I believe it's called. I'm not so sure. Let's break this down into multiple lines. Seems the black formatter doesn't want to work, so we do it like this. Oops, not that. I always press the wrong button. Great. Why is this being imported? Done that. Right, so I believe we need a Q input box. Yeah, Q input box. Q box. Nope. Something. Input. Yep. Let me just Google the name of the thing, because why not? Input box by Qt6. Q line edit. Q line edit. How do you call something like this? Like, explain to me. A. Yeah, I clicked the wrong button. Not my fault. Know that? Yes. Q line edit. Why can't I find it here? Unless it's not a widget. Where is it coming from? It's coming from here. Huh? Oh. Q line edit. Great. I didn't put a comma here, so it was not recognizing it. My bad. Anyway, I'm supposed to clear this. Then I'm supposed to add what? Sub.what? Main layout dot add what? Add a widget. And that would be the line edit, right? But first, I have to create it, right? So, what should I call it? Share code input box. Share code input. So we use a Q line edit for that, and what? We give it a parent of self, and what? Is there a placeholder text? Share code inputs dot place holder. Let's set placeholder text. We already spent 1 hour. Wow, thought the time would be enough actually. Enter the share code from sender here. For now, I'm just going to take it as an IP address or something of the sort, right? And also dot what? How dot event dot. I want to make it in such a way that I don't add an extra button. I want there to just be like you enter the value and you hit the enter key and it just sort of works, right? So on enter key. When use enter to submit a Q line edit. Detecting error on a Q, enter on a Q line edit. So I think this should work. For a Q line edit, connect to return pressed signal. Okay, return pressed signal is there. Great. Return pressed signal. So you can do it. Dot return press dot what? Connect. So self dot what? I mean, I could just handle it in here so that it wouldn't be weird. So for here, I'm just going to do define handle enter click as a function. It takes in just event, and for now, instead of doing this, I'll do what handle click. For now, I'm just going to print out the event. Something like this. Great. Now, when I run this, I'll get 2 buttons. Please don't talk about my buttons. And when I click on receive, just abort, this is what? Oh, I'm not adding the layout, right? Sure. Now when I click on receive, then it's supposed to bring this. Type in something, print hit enter. It says type error. Handle enter click is missing one required argument. Event. I'm passing the event here. How far is that? I'm bleeding trying to use PyKitty to add a GUI to the whole thing. The way you said the oi, it sounds so much like some anime something. Like who like say that? Let me see if I can remember. No, actually I can't remember. I can't. It's missing one required positional arguments, blah blah blah. Why? I mean, it's a slot, right? So it should just be a normal function. Why do I need to have 2 things here? Or do I need to pass in self? Maybe just do something like this. I think it's expecting it to be like a function that's attached to the window. Jojo. I'm not sure I watched that, so I don't know. Yeah, it says the same thing. It requires 2 positional arguments. Wait, hold up. I don't think I read the thing well. When it was like this, I don't know, Jojo. It says that it's missing one required positional argument. It means it was called without it. Oh, okay, so it doesn't even need this. So it means that what I'm supposed to do here is to do what? Share code input dot what? Value dot what's the content? Oh yes. I mean the oi. Actually, I should just like keep the oi. But the oi, the 3. So it is like the 3 of them together. Is something like, it sounds so much like one anime. Like I can't remember the particular one, but I remember that it's. How do you get the input on this? And so dot push button click blah blah. The text, okay. So print this here, and so now when we go ahead and click on this and say what? Hello, and we click enter, we should get a hello. But for now, I'm Jex as Billy the Butcher, oil lad. Oil. But now what I'm going to do is to so we take this as our share code, and what we are going to do is that what if share code, then we know what to do. Right now I want us to just take the IP address colon the port, so we could do something like server IP, server IP server port equals what? Share code dot split on colon share code dot what? Strip dot split on colon. Then we have to make a connection. So basically we have to the same point. Now I think for the GUI functionality, most work is done. Now it's about integrating it. Now come to think of it, when the person before the person enters the share-code, can we ask the person where the person wants to store the file? Like the directory that the person wants to store the file in. So that, you see what I'm saying? The person selected the file. That's great. We have to also ask the person where he wants to store the file. Yeah. So instead of just doing all of this and getting the share code and blah blah blah, if there is a share code, we ask the person where he wants to store the file. So what we are going to do there is to also get a file path, or should I say dir path, something like that. It's called what? Then we do what? Q file dialog again, but then this time around we do what? Get open get existing directory. Maybe that should be it. Is there ever a documentation for these? No, never. We give it what? Self. What does it return? A string. Let's print dir path and see what's up. Right. Never closed it again. Now, when we go to receive a file and we press enter, there's supposed to be something here first. You can't do the splitting because of, for now, because I didn't enter anything, right? Oh, let me just leave it there. Let me just leave it there for now. Why do I keep doing this? Just leave it there for now and enter a sensible thing. So I'm expecting the person to enter something like, wait, is this very small? Come to think of it, I think I need to increase the size of this. I don't know how, but I hope you guys can see. Can you? No, you can't. You can't see this. One moment. Increase size of Q line edit. By Qt. How can I limit text box width? Not the width, I want the height. So this is why sometimes PyKit might not be the best. I should have just used Kinta or something. Who asked me? Who asked me to use PyKit? Please, who asked me to use PyKit? If I could change the font size, where is it? Here. So we do a share code dot what? Set this set font or set font point, set point size. There's something like that. Great. Okay. Dot font. Dot set point size. I can give it what? 30. That'll be enough for you guys to see. Didn't even change a thing. Didn't change a thing. Oh, okay. Got it. Set font to this. Really? Well, this wouldn't work. Font equals this font, this, and font. This should work. Great. It's a bit big. It's not that big, but it's okay. So the idea is that we enter 127.0.0.1:4004. Then when we press the enter, it will ask us to select a directory. So when we select a directory, then you are supposed to get that directory. Great. Now that we have the directory and the path of the file, we can continue with what we did. We can integrate it with what we did last week. Hopefully I end at 10:30 this time around, because we can't go beyond the hour mark. Yeah, and let's do the logic, then we come back to the color and stuff like that, right? I'm going to put this in a try and accept what? Like any form of error that happens right here, I can just like print out an invalid value for now, and we return from this function. I don't know if I should put another button before doing this or something. I could give it a caption. It's not called caption. Yeah. So self caption, and the caption should be what? Choose where to store the file. I didn't close, right? Did I? One thing about PyQt, like when you write something, you have to, the caption is not even showing anywhere, so what's the point? Well, doesn't matter. Anyways, so now that we have a directory path, we have to find a way of integrating this receive thing here, this whole logic. What if I create something that takes what, server IP, server port, directory, directory, and then instead of all of this, I should do the checks and see. So this should be a string, this should be a int, and this should also be a string. So I don't need to do all of this. Just need to do this. Try and connect. Connection refused. Well, for now, let's just say connection refused. It could be there for now, but for security reasons, we'll keep it there. For this, instead of this, we'll do where's.path.join. When we join our DIRs and then come out. Now we have to call it something. Download. And the file type as well. Come to think of it, I should just take the file name as also one of the things. So I'm assuming that I'll get a file size plus the file name. So file name, comma. I mean, the name and size couldn't be that long, right? So wherever I decode over here, it's going to be something like this. Dot split. And I'm going to create my own separator. I just want to put that somewhere. Where should I put it? Okay. Premature optimization, I know, but why not? Ta-da! Can I actually like import config from? Please, let's not stress it. It's not necessary. A split on a separator. For now, I'm just going to use the word separator or something like this to separate, right? And then when we split on that, when we split on this, we get this and we get this, we get the file name and the file size, so we can put the file name here. I have to import OS. Right? And we are sorted. So the idea is that in send as well, so how do I get, I need to find a way of displaying this. How do I get this? So instead of this, okay, I'll create another function over here for configure server socket, and essentially what it will do is to do all of this, including this, and including this. I mean, I want to return the source code, right? The share code or whatever I'm calling it. And that's, for now, is supposed to be an F string of the server IP colon server port, right? And but in that case, you know, if I try to start sending, I won't have access to this socket. How does it all work? How I want to okay. In that case, I could return two things: the server socket and that one. And here you could take what? Server socket. And a file path. I mean, I won't get that here, so there's no point for this. We don't actually need this. Now, for the first one, instead of just sending the file size, I need to also get a file name. where's the path dot get what file name. OS Python OS get file name dot base name this only returns the full thing. I don't want that. Hey, what are they even asking for? Extract file name from path, no matter what it was or wherever it is. I mean, I could just test it out and see. Python import OS. Where's the path dot base name of something like, let's say, user slash revenue 44 slash amen dot py. Great, right then. Where's the part that get base? We'll not get base name, and we do what? File path. Really? Great. Now instead of just sending this, I want to send file name and that separator thing that we created here. So the idea is that when it goes there, I'll be able to like get both the file size and the file name, and then we use the file name to do this. The file size, the reason why I'm taking the size over here is because I need a size to do the progress bar thing. So like to know the minimum and the maximum, like how much I've received so far. That's why I'm using the size over here, right? But yeah, this should work. Oh, these are outside actually. Okay. So in our app, what we're going to do is to from receive import where is it? Import starts receiving. And from send import what? Configure socket, configure server socket. And start receiving. So what we are going to do is that immediately the person clicks on this and we get the file path, what we are going to do is what? Configure, it returns a tuple of the socket and a string. So you do what? Server socket and what? Share-code. Go to this. Now we are supposed to display this share-code to the other person in a way. So what we are going to do is what? Clear layout and solve.clear layout. And what we are going to do is to then show the share code to the person and tell the person that, you know, we want to you have to give this to the person, like something of the sort. So I can just use a Q label for that, right? So label Q label Q label. Let me say what the label is what? Give this to recipient. I can just write share code. Share code, and we say what? Share code and we call this a shellcode, and this should be an F string. Yeah, great. We do what? Label dot what? Font. And what? Font dot what? Set point size. I give that like 50 or something. And then we do what? Label dot what? Set font again, and we set what? Font. And now we do ourselves dot what? Main layouts dot add widget, and we add what? Label. Great. And now this is done, then we can now do what? Start sending, and sending what? The server socket and the file path. Right? So now when we say start sending, this should work. On the other hand, when a person clicks on enter, we get the IP address, from the shellcode essentially. When we get this, and we don't return, we get a directory that he wants to store it in. So it means that we see over here. Oh yeah, we send the IP and the port and the directory to it. Anyway, so it starts receiving. I'm screwed. No, I'm in the wrong place. So here, instead of doing this, you can just what? Starts receiving. Sending was the server IP, server port, and the DR path. Hopefully, they should work, right? Right? It's going to be weird because right now, I have to choose a different directory. So let me just say, tests, not test as in test, trial, test, trial, test, trial. I don't know what to name the thing. Dummy files, temporary files. Let me call it temp. That's better. Great. So inside this temp, I'm supposed to have like, not a file, sent, and I'm supposed to also have what? Received. I just want like to use different directories for it so that it will be sensible. So inside sent, we have what? This test file, right? And here, inside requirements, I'm going to delete this received file from here because we don't need it anymore. So we have something like this. So now, exit, and we run the app again and see what's up. Bring the app here. Sorry about the font anyway. So I have to run it twice actually. Python app.py, and that should also come here. Right, so we have this. So let's say this person wants to send a file. He comes here, he clicks on send. He chooses a file that he wants to send, which is what? Inside this temp, sent, and then we have what? A test file here. Is it loading? It's loading. Like, something is happening. I don't know why, but it's loading. Receive a file. The shellcode was not even displayed, which is weird. But let's see. I don't know what's happening. .0.0.1 4004. He chooses a directory as received. Yeah, the socket was never created because this was still loading. I wonder what was even happening. It was at self.socket.accept. Why should it be there without showing the code? It didn't show the shellcode. Where is it? handle send click. But I've already added it to yourself. This didn't show up, which is weird. I mean, if I were to stop doing this right. If I stop that and I just come here and I do a send file and I select the file, it shows a share code. But this never happened the first time around because of this. It was just loading. It was here. It was at this point. We might have run into a bug or something. At this point, I'm done. We are done for today. Let me just try it one more time. Maybe it was just like system performance or something. I want to quit this. So if I were to run this, it always comes here. Go to send file and go to what's sent, and I select a file. Yeah, then it gets stuck over here. The question is why? And if you have an idea why, I mean, I get that it's waiting for something. But if it is indeed waiting for something, then when I do a 127.0.1 4004, it's asking me where I want to receive it and store it at. String cannot be interpreted as an integer, but that's because in our receive, not here. So let me try receiving again and see if it actually does. 127.0.1 4004 temp received open. Yeah, it receives the file, alright. It receives the file. Works out. But then I don't know why it continuously Interesting vibes. Interesting vibes. So it was only after it that the share code came. Well, I can't explain that, but let's see. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to stop today's session here. I mean, I don't think we need all of this. We have made some progress, alright, but there are some things that we need to figure out, right? I'm going to leave today's on here. and then we could continue another time. Close this get status. What did I do? Right. Git add, git commit, initial work on initial integration with PyQt5 GUI. Okay. And now we can do it. Git push origin main. Great. Great talk, guys. Guess I'll just like end this today's session here, because if need be, you guys could just check this repository and you'll be able to like find like our current status of the work and what's happening. Yeah, but that's about it. Thank you guys for joining. If you want to see more of the, the streaming, the live streaming sessions and all of that, you know what to do. Let's go through the send logic. Wait, when was this sent? Jay, did you send this right now or it is me, my eyes? Let's go through the send logic. Yes. The send logic is here, right? Or you mean what's inside this? What happens is that whenever you do server socket or accept, it kind of like it blocks the whole thing from like it blocks the whole execution here. You sent this long ago. Sorry. I wasn't looking there. I think I should like put the chat on this screen instead, so that I can be looking at its curve very well. What do you think? It's not a bad idea. Oops, not print. Great, something like this. Yeah, next time this is what we'll be doing. We have the chat at the side so that everyone can see everyone and I wouldn't get distracted. But anyway, what I'm saying is this, right? So whenever you call the server sockets that accept, it kind of like it blocks the whole execution here. That's the problem. It doesn't continue running. If it were to like continue running, if it was to happen asynchronously, then this other stuff would have happened. But this never happened. This just blocked the whole thing over there. So I have to find a way of making sure that this never blocks it. If you look at the documentation for sockets.accept Python, you would realize that I was trying to help you fix the bug earlier. Oh, well, since you're here, I'm actually getting off the stream anyway, but I just want to look at this since you asked. Accept. The accept method. Great. Timeouts and accept method. Great. Accept a communication. The socket must be bound to an address and list connection. The return value is a pair connection address where the connection is a new socket is able to say blah blah blah. If the system call is interrupted and the signal handler does not raise an exception, the method now retries the system call instead of no, that's what I'm looking for. Socket.accept blocks program execution. Python. And let's try and check that out. What this? The accept method blocks execution and waits for an incoming connection. When a client connects, it returns a new socket object representing the connection at the top holding the address, blah blah blah. But if that's the case, how do I make sure that it doesn't block? I'm trying to learn Python and I have share with it, blah, blah, blah. As I understand the method once I call that. What about multi-threading? Run it on another thread or something like that. This is all some way right now. If I have to do that, so what? How to continue execution without blocking. Accept is not always a blocking call. If the socket is set to be non-blocking, accept will return with eGain or eWould block. The way to use accept in a non-blocking server is to put a server FD in a select epo. The server FD. Now I'm confused, but this is sensible. So I have to create a non-blocking socket Python. Why am I still pressing this? Control F, non-blocking sockets, create. If you've understood the preceding, you already know most of what you need to know about the mechanics of the socket. You still use the same code, blah blah. In Python, you use the socket.set non-blocking to false, set blocking to false, and make it non-blocking. And see, it's more complex, blah 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 blah. The major mechanical difference is that the send, receive, and connect and accept can return without having done anything. You have, of course, a number of choices. You can check the return code and error codes. You generally drive yourself crazy if you don't believe me. Try it sometime. Your app will grow large, baggy, and suck CPU. So let's keep the brain dead solutions and do it right. Use select. In C, coding select is, but why are we using select? How do we use it in Python? That's the question. Great. Life has just become more complex. Using non-blocking sockets, Python. Notice. Okay, what's a? I get that. Go down, go down, go down. Yes. But this is when you are connecting, right? Understanding select, event loops, okay. I have to do some research on this. But yeah, I think the way to go now is to make sure that our socket is not blocking. So here was server socket, that's what, set blocking to false. And when this is done, then I think it should behave set really. It should behave separately when you try to send a file and you select a file. Now something else happened that I've just closed. Says what? blocking error, resume temporarily available. Yeah, like we'll figure it out. But guys, I think that's it for this particular video. It's getting too long and there's no point leaving a very long video on the channel. But yeah, if you want to see more of streaming stuff, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share the video, whatever you have to do. Follow me on Twitter and let's talk over there. Bye bye. Peace.